You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, 3rd day of July, 2018. And that means one thing. Tomorrow's the 4th of July, 2018. Join me in a word of prayer. Father, there's no greater feeling of liberty than to experience freedom from the sin and death that you promised through Jesus. Today, my heart and my soul are free to praise you, and for this I am thankful. God, on this Independence Day, I'm reminded of all those who've sacrificed for my freedom, just as your son Jesus did. Let me not take my freedom, physical or spiritual, for granted. May I always remember that a very high price was paid for my freedom. My freedom cost others their very lives. God, today bless those who have served and continue to give their lives for my freedom. With favor and bounty, I pray that you would meet their needs and watch over their families. I'm so thankful for this nation. for all the sacrifices that others have made to build and defend this country. I'm so grateful. Thank you for the opportunities and freedoms we have here in the United States of America. God, I pray that I would never, ever take these blessings for granted. God, I ask you to help me live my life in a way that glorifies you. Give me strength to be a blessing in someone's life today. And God, I pray that you would grant me the opportunity to lead others into the freedom that can only be found in knowing Jesus Christ. And it's in your name we pray. In Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Happy 4th of July. Let the fireworks begin. Hope you're having a great pre-4th of July day. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I'm glad you joined us today. Thank you so much. It's always good to see you. If you're here for the first time, a special welcome to you, and to the others, welcome back. I have a chart up of the S&P 500 Emini Futures. If you can't see the chart, go to our homepage at CFRN.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. Within 30 seconds, you'll be registered all the way through the end of the month. 30 seconds for 30 days. Good deal. Now, I also suggest that you, at some point, go to youtube.com/CFRN/live. Bookmark that page, just in case the go-to software ever fails. We have a redundant stream at youtube.com/CFRN/live. And while you're there, do subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified every time I post a new video, whether it's a daily show, a recap, whatever it might be. So yeah, subscribe and bring a friend. And thanks to all of you who've turned out for the open house this week. We're off tomorrow. There'll be no live training room. There will be no radio program. But we'll be back at it again Thursday, back in the saddle, both Thursday and Friday. So look forward to you joining us for that as well. I hope you all have a safe and happy 4th of July. Just remember those fireworks. A list of the cheap ones they sell here in Phoenix in the parking lots at the mall. Though you could light 10 of those and they wouldn't blow your hand off. But if you happen to be around real fireworks, please be careful. All right? All right. Well, Coinbase has announced that its new institutional offering, Coinbase Custody, which we've been talking about for a month now, last week accepted its first deposit and is now officially open for business. The service will be onboarding crypto hedge funds, exchanges, ICO projects over the coming weeks. It is a combination of cold storage, an institutional-grade broker-dealer and reporting services, and also a client coverage program. Coinbase Custody leverages the expertise and systems of the ETC, the Electronic Transaction Clearing, a SEC-registered broker-dealer, and also a FINRA member. It provides secure storage for institutions in both the U.S. and Europe, and the company hopes to bring this offering to Asia as well before the end of the year. The service currently supports BTC, ETH, LTC, and BCH, and as previously reported, it is expected to open the floodgates for the big institutional money still looking for cryptocurrency exposure. As crypto continues to mature as an asset class and more institutions enter the space, Coinbase is committed to delivering products and services that are tailored to their unique needs. Coinbase Custody delivers the trusted storage service that clients need to fully immerse themselves in the potential that crypto assets provide. And this is a day that I think we'll all remember quite well as we look back. HitBTC, the Hong Kong-based exchange, has responded to John McAfee's accusations on Twitter that the venue is killing poor people. I'm doing air quotes here. Killing poor people. Now, this is the same John McAfee who said Bitcoin was going to 500,000, made a big bet. He's also the John McAfee that was on the run, on the lam for a while, if you will. Running from hotel to hotel with, I think, his girlfriend, and someone was chasing him, and he made a lot of frantic phone calls that they were trying to kill him, and then all of a sudden, poof, it was all gone. So, fact, fiction, or friction, I don't know. But just want to make sure we're all talking about the same John. Yeah, that McAfee, the software that once you get it on your computer, try getting that baby out. And they sneak it in. Oh my goodness, if you update an Adobe or lots of other things, if you don't untick that little box, McAfee will live inside your computer forever until you put it to sleep. Now, McAfee, the provocateur and former ICO, Schiller Supreme, started the fight last Thursday when he wrote on Twitter that the crypto exchanges have become the thing that we have originally fought against. Their power is immense. He actually said on Twitter, Hit BTC, for example, has increased suffering for millions of poor people who cannot afford the minimum buy-in since it is greater than their monthly income. Boycott them. That's what he said. And by the way, he sold the software company, the antivirus company, a long time ago. The exchange mockingly thanked him. So Hit BTC responded on Twitter. The exchange mockingly thanked him for raising the problem and being the voice of the community. To which McAfee responded, "Your algorithm killed an unknown number of people. You tell me what algorithm recompenses these deaths." He said that out loud. Dear Mr. McAfee, now this is in a letter they wrote back to him. It's great that you raised the problem. We've been considering it for a while, and your voice took this discourse to another level. An exchange charges its withdrawal commission to further pay the ETH, which is required for sending the transaction to the network. To maintain the balance, the commission should be equal to the amount we pay for the transaction and be charged in Ether. Some users do not hold Ether on their accounts, and most of the users withdraw tokens, which leads us to a conclusion that the commission should be charged in that very currency a user is going to withdraw. Hit BTC has been known for providing its community with a wide range of digital assets, which is considered attractive by most of our customers. Some of these assets are highly volatile and some are less so. We do not see a problem either in monitoring token prices and automatically updating them on an hourly basis, or in connecting the commission manually in particular cases, the way we have made a manual adjustment for the tokens we are talking about. But some of the assets are still more volatile, so their price can change within an hour. We talked about the dramatic percentage increase in just 4 hours. Yesterday we were discussing that. Back to their letter, we think that your advice on this problem will be very valuable. What algorithmic solution would you propose to resolve this issue that we believe most of the exchanges face? We will highly appreciate, Mr. McAfee, if you can share your vision. Thank you for being the voice of the crypto community. We share your values. Sincerely yours, Hit BTC team. I got to hand it to them. They handled that quite well. Don't you think? BTCC, one of the largest Bitcoin exchanges in China, has officially launched its new platform. The new exchange supports trading BCH, BTC, ETH, LTC, and the US dollar. and offers 0 trading fees for the first 3 months of operation. Interestingly, the platform also features a rewards point system, reminiscent of the much maligned trans-fee mining business model that recently propelled new exchanges to the top of the volume charts. Last Friday, Huobi declared it will be implementing several HATE Act voting changes meant to combat bribery for token listings. However, now the exchange has announced the postponement of the opening of voting, which was originally planned for Monday. The main change was dividing its supernodes into 2 categories and dropping all projects not supported by the new higher tier group. The team notified their users that due to the participation of new nodes, and we may open our own node, we'll talk more about that in days to come. The HATE Act's operating system is still working hard, the team is working hard, to provide better autonomy plans for the community, and the rules are still being discussed intensively, taking into account the forward compatibility issue. Therefore, HATE Acts will delay the opening of the first round of the 4th phase of voting. And that is the crypto news as we head into this 4th of July, middle of the week holiday. I think July 4th should always fall on a Friday, a Saturday, a Sunday, and on a worst case, Monday. This Wednesday business, it's not good for anyone. I honestly feel that way. All right. Here's the numbers around the world in 60 seconds almost. The Dow's currently down 3 points. NASDAQ is down 29. S&P 500 is down less than a point. And the Russell 2000 is green, adding 7 points on the session. Crude oil down a nickel, trading 73.89 last. Gold. Gold. My. Been a long time since I've seen green on my screen in that little spot. Gold is actually up $14.80, trading $1256.50 last. In the Asian markets, the Nikkei finished down 26 points. Shanghai added 10 points. And the Hang Seng, which yesterday was the only green on the screen, as I recall. Was it the Hang Seng? I'll have to look back. Anywho, at the close today, the Hang Seng was down 409 points, roughly 1.5%. And Europe had a green day. The FTSE closed up 45 points. The DAX was up 110, that's basically 1%. And the CAC was up 40 points at the close, that's 0.75%. So it is a mixed day here in the U.S., only due to the Russell at this point. A mixed day in Asia, thanks to the Shanghai. And in Europe, it's just all green. So there you have it. Those are the numbers. Those are the cash markets. When I come back in a bit, we'll talk futures, and John will be with us today. We'll speak with him. We'll go over tweets. We'll go over Concierge Trade Alerts. We'll answer any and all questions that you have. Just type any question you have into the chat box. No one can see what you type except myself, Michael, or Bert if he happens to pop in. So don't hold back. If there's something you want to know, ask, and we'll do our very best to give you a good answer. Okay? And with that, Mike, I might point out on this chart I have up, the S&P 500 Emini Futures, as price ran up to this week's weekly trading zone. Well, as you can see, it consolidated here at 2711/12. It then ran up to the next weekly zone overhead at 27/28, where it consolidated for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, basically 10 hours in and around this 1 point area from 27 to 28. It then gathered a head of steam off the London Open. Okay, this was, you know how we talk about having a 10 a.m. reversal, which I pointed out and trained. Well, here's London's version of that. There's the open, slammed it down right into the zone. And this is their 3:30 a.m. reversal, which would be like our 10 a.m. reversal. And up we go, straight to the zone. And straight back to the zone. So zone, let's see, the zone at 28 up to 40, that would be carry the one, 12 points. Would that be right?
That is correct.
That is correct. 12 up, 12 down, 24 points. Gotta love it. Okay, now what do we got here? We're breaking down through the zone. Is it possible that we'll come down, pull back up, test for good resistance, put in another leg to the downside? I think so. I think that's possible. This area right here could serve as good support for us to go back, do the thing I just said, and then now just in case it doesn't give us that pullback, we should be prepared to live radio trade our way through this. So let's go 27.18 to 27.13. Yes, sir.
Keep in mind that the market's closed in half hour.
Oh, that's right. You know what, guys? Maybe that's better left undone unless this thing just says giddy up and go. So I'm going to write it down. I said 27.18 to 27.13. Okay. So don't know that that'll happen, and I don't think you probably want to leave a position open over a holiday weekend, especially a 4th of July weekend. These patriotic holidays in the US of A always cause me a little concern in that if someone, some bad actor with a bad script, a bad agenda, wants to do something, what better day to say in your face than on the 4th of July? So we pray that everyone will be safe, there'll be no problems, everybody will give their life to Jesus, and we can all just get along. In case that doesn't happen, I'm going to pick up some extra ammo when I pass by the place today. So,
yeah,
all yours.
I may do the same thing. All right. I've been really meaning to go to the range. I have some steam I need to blow off, and that's a better place than all the other places I'd like to blow it off.
Yeah. Now, they don't have an open bar at the range, do they?
No, they do not.
That's good. Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, no.
So, guys, this seems to have some pep in its step, some purpose, as if it's got somewhere to be and a certain amount of time to get there. If this thing should drop and trigger 27.18 short, watch the clock, trail your stop. Maybe you don't get all the way to 13. That's okay. Now, the markets will open tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern, as they do every night for the Globex session. Remember, we're the only country that celebrates 4th of July. And these markets, futures, will trade tomorrow right up until noon. They'll shut them down, take a 6-hour break, and when tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern, the markets will reopen for the Thursday session. So all of us get a full day off, but the markets only get 6 hours. And with that,
all right,
it's all yours.
I got the charts.
Take it away.
All right, here we go. This is going to be quick because I have to take Jake to the airport.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that. Let's see. Okay.
You probably have time to go get your coffee.
I'll run. Okay. Bye.
Go get the Keurig. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, the 3rd day of July 2018. Let's start out with this. Okay, if you have not taken the free trial, go to the home page at CFRN.net. Right here on the home page, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net, or you can scroll down to where it says free 5-day trial, click on that, and there's other places where you can take the free trial on the home page. Just go there and do that stuff, and when you click on that, you'll be brought here to this page. On this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, how you found us. Nail that submit button. When you do that, you'll be sent a confirmation link. Now, you must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click on the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial. So you must click on that confirmation link. Okay? Okay. The spreadsheet. Let's go find my spreadsheet. And here it is. Hang on, I was going to say working, and it's going to load the whole thing. Okay, here we go. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you're going to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. The spreadsheet goes back over 5 years now. Okay, as I said, today is the 3rd day of July 2018. And again, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you can read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today we lost 8 ticks in the euro, and we made 50 ticks in crude. That put us at plus 450 on the morning. Today it took 27 minutes and 1 trade to get to the goal for the day. That's 2 days in a row. And at that point, we're up $100 a contract. We took a total of 8 trade opportunities today. On the month now, we're at 608.75. That's over 2 days, averaging $304 per day. And on the year, we're at 19,887. That's over 120 days, averaging $165 per day. Okay, averaging $165 per day. All right, now that is that. Let's see what we have in here. Look at this. Look at this gold, the way it was just going, looking like it was going just nice, beautiful trend up. It was a nice, beautiful trend up. The slingshot, however, didn't give us a lot of opportunity because the movements were not quick and stuff. We did get 1 trade set up right here that we missed. There are a couple other ones, momentum trades in here, but it was going into the high of the day, so you couldn't do anything with it. Then right in here, you see our trading period was from right here, where we didn't have any trade setups, to right there where we had one, and all the way over here. Now it's reversed off the high of the day. So we had 1 trade opportunity on gold, but we missed it. Okay. Ow, hang on a second. All right. Let me just check something. All right, on the euro. In the pre-market, the euro had some pretty good opportunity, but once the markets opened up, we had a long opportunity right here. You see, we didn't actually hit the BBC there. It would have been long off of that, but we went long right there, and it stopped us out pretty much to the tick, and then it went up. That happens. It happens. Over here, we didn't take a trade opportunity here because the black step line had crossed up above the BBC right there, and we missed that shorting opportunity there. During the break over here, there was 1 momentum short right here. That probably would have been a break even for whoever took it. Okay, and crude oil. This is where we made the money today. Okay, crude was really volatile this morning, and we only got a piece of it. There was a long right here that we missed, another long right there that we missed, a short here. This is where we got our goal for the day. We picked up 10 ticks on that. We missed that short. Then the slingshot started to get all messed up, but then it corrected itself right in here. And we had a short there and a short there that we missed. Then the cycle was going up too steep for the short here. So we picked up 10 ticks on the first one, 6 ticks there to put us at plus 16. We got 23 ticks right here to put us at plus 39. Then a break even there. 1 tick there to put us at plus 40. Then we missed that short there, but we picked up 10 here and put us at plus 50. And we missed that one and that one as well. Excuse me, my voice is starting to crack. Puberty setting in. 50 years old. In here, let's see, in here, we didn't have any opportunity. And let's see, right in there, there was a long opportunity, and that was it during the break. But we were plus 50 on crude today. Okay, on the ES, we took 1 trade opportunity. It was right here. We got a break even on that. There was another one right here going down to the zone. It almost hit the zone, came within a tick of it. until it got way over here. But that was it on the ES this morning. The ES was kind of a mess. See this choppy mess right here? Not a lot happening with the ES. During the break, the slingshot was backwards, so nothing we could do there with the ES during the break. Okay. Back to the spreadsheet.
Alrighty then.
I'm almost done. Almost done. Again, today is the 3rd day of July 2018. And if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you can read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. We were -8 on the euro, +50 on crude. That put us at +450 on the morning. It took 27 minutes in one trade to get to the goal for the day. And we took a total of 8 trade opportunities this morning. Now, there were probably 16 trade opportunities, but we only got 8 of them. Okay, and I think all of the ones I missed, I'm pretty sure all the ones I missed were winning trades. There might have been a couple of break-evens in there. But anyway, on the month, we're at 608.75. That's over 2 days, averaging 304.38. On the year now, 19,887. That's over 120 days, averaging 165. That is one contract, 2 hours per day. One contract, 2 hours per day. Now, if you have not taken the free trial with us, go to the home page here at CFRN.net, and there are several ways to take the free trial. You can hit this right here. It says apply.cfrn.net. Hit that. Free 5-day trial. User indicators free. Go all the way down to the bottom. Start free trial. No credit card required. You hit any of those, and you're going to be brought to this page. Okay, and on this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Hit that submit button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, well, we don't know you took the trial, so we can't give you a trial. Okay? And that is that. With that, I can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona. Studio A overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, alright, that part's done. Alright, guys, here she comes. 20. Oh, let me get my chart open. Boom. There we go. Alright. We blew right through this potential for good support, although I remember just the other day we were buying 27.22 and look where it took us. So this is some heavy pre-market trade, which leads me to believe there could be an active Globex session tonight. Now, I'm not suggesting that you trade on a holiday or any of that, but I'm just saying, you know, as I do. And I wanted to show you something that I found. Oh, I don't know. It reminded me of when we first met. Last night, the Globex Open last night was so quiet, so I said, quiet open. See what I mean? I found this chart lingering on the info superhighway. Can you imagine trying to trade that?
No.
Well, we used to, remember?
I know. It was crazy.
Hey, where'd price go? I mean, it's actually there.
It's buried behind all those lines.
All that stuff, man. Wow, you know? And if Michael and I were sitting here trading all that stuff and somebody came along, you know, some indicator vendor pitching us about, we'd slap that thing right on top of it. And the more the merrier. But you know what, guys? That's the wrong approach. It really is. Less is more. Now, sometimes less is just less. But in this case, I promise you, less is more. I would be willing to go head-to-head, toe-to-toe any day of the week with someone who trades from this chart. And all I had was our chart, the CFMA1, and the cycle out of the slingshot. Give me those, and I think I could at least keep up with this guy. And I don't think my head would hurt quite so much at the end of the day. But, hey, who's counting? So, with that, I know you got to run. And John's supposed to be here right about now. Do you happen to see him?
Let me see. Nope, he's not in yet.
In the house. Okay. I spoke with him.
He's not in the house yet.
He's coming, so we'll wait for him to get here. Now,
okay.
Before you run, I know you probably would like to know what happened on that tweeter last night. A lot of people have been inquiring about the tweeter. How to get on that tweeter? 2730 to 2735. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's 5
I
points,
see what you're saying.
And so that's what I had said to the good folks. E-mini Nation, as I call them, 2730 to 2735. So that's 5 S&P points. That's $250 per contract. Did I get that right?
Yeah, that is correct.
24,335. 24,335 right there, up to 24,440. Oh, he did not. No, he did not. Yeah. Oh, I thought I got it right on the nose. So it went to 24,445. So from 35 to 40, how many points would that be, Michael? Carry the one.
25 to 40, that would be 15
No,
points.
335 to 440.
Oh, 35 to 40.
That'd be 105.
Okay.
Right?
I'll let you do the math.
That'd be $525 per contract. On the NQ, 71.25 to 71.45. What?
What the heck?
What, you got a problem now?
Yeah, there's something that just didn't come out right.
Oh, I hate it when that happens. Was it a cake? Were you baking a cake?
Yeah, that's what I was baking a cake.
To 71.45. So there's 25. Oh, look what happened. The first time we triggered 25, we scooted up to 36.50. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. Back below the trigger, and then we do the 45. So that's $400 per contract available. And then last but not least, the old crude, 74.15 to 74.40. Okay, how'd that play out? 74.15 to 74.40. Man, we got that all in one candle.
Yep.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Hey,
So,
John's out there now.
Okay, well, if you open his mic, I wish you the very best on this holiday season.
Thank you. Wish you the best as well.
If you find
Of
work,
course.
please send money. Okay, and don't forget to write.
Okay. All right.
Call
I
me
won't
later,
forget.
Dan. Okay, bye.
All right.
Hey,
See ya.
John, welcome to the show.
John.
Yeah.
Is he still haven't? Did he ever come on yesterday?
No, he had some technical difficulties, kind of things.
I
yesterday.
wonder if he's still having technical difficulties.
No, well,
because-
no, because I spoke with him this morning. I think he tries to get set up, and then I don't know. I don't know where he goes actually, but I'll jingle his phone.
Interesting.
You can go ahead and take off if you need to. I understand.
Okay. All right. I'm running out of time with my son.
Hey, that. Oh, well, just go.
Oops.
And,
All right.
All right. I'll talk to you in a bit. All right. Bye.
I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me jingle John on his phone, and then we'll. Okay, there it is. Oops, there it is. Okay. All right. So,
Hi, can you hear me?
hey, John, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, boy, I remember I said you got to be real careful of this July 4th. The market could sell off into it,
Yeah, you got that. right.
and it's happening kind of really alarmingly,
We
to
closed
say
in,
the
what,
least.
13 minutes?
Yeah, and look, I don't think it's the end of the world, but there's a couple of things. They've got these tariffs supposed to be going into effect on Friday, might be spooking the market right now. But I mean, after such a strong opening this morning, I mean, we opened on the highs and sold off almost immediately, and has been gathering momentum. I know Facebook's got some problems, that's going down, but the fangs are going, everything's getting hit here pretty hard. And this is pretty tricky. So what I think might happen is between Thursday and Friday, perhaps there'll be a reprieve or something on these tariffs. If they don't go into effect, the market could explode higher, and you've got to be kind of ready for that. And the other weird thing is, we had very bad breadth yesterday okay, and the market rallied. We were basically negative all day, and today we're positive, and the market's going down. I mean, this is pretty tough kind of stuff to trade. And the VIXs are heading back up again, and to some extent they are rather. Look, this could be just a kind of an up day, and then if we go up day on the VIX and if we go back to a down day on Thursday or Friday, then the market could rally very strongly. But right now, a lot of the charts have turned pretty negative.
Yes, they have.
The daily charts and that. So it's very, you got to be really careful, because this market, this is sort of the way. I mean, we have had 1 or 2 Julys. I can remember it was back in 2002. We didn't bottom until about the 10th of July, 9th or 10th of July. And the charts in general don't look that great. This looks like a rally, and it's now petered out, and renewed downside would be, pretty bad. I was actually thinking that the 2450 on the S&P, could still be on the cards. So that would be pretty brutal. But
at the beginning of the show, we even though we only had, I didn't think about it, but Michael reminded me we only had 30 minutes to the close when I started talking about this, or an hour, whatever it was. And so the live radio trade we put out was 27.18 down to 27.13. And so far, we made it to 15.50. So
yeah.
And it looks like 13's on tap. We'll see.
Yeah, no, it probably is. But I think that that weekly trading zone there is probably going to hold. If we start going up on Thursday or Friday.
I think it will. I think it will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you need to get that?
Just one sec. Yeah, hold on. I'll be right with you.
Okay. So no, that's not 12. It was 13. And somebody just said, "What? But the zone's at 12." Yep. And zones are an area, and we get accustomed to price churning, just like it did here, right at the zone. And we shouldn't become too comfortable with that, because it can sometimes miss it by a tick or two. So that's why the target was 27.13 and not 27.12. Okay, John, you're back.
So boy, the VIX is jumping a lot now. It's gone up a full point here just in a short while.
This is kind of a. Is there any news?
That's the whole thing. There wasn't really anything to speak of this morning, and
last hour.
To be down 80 points on the Nasdaq, that's pretty bad. So in the meantime, our intercept did go up to 90, got to 90 plus this morning, but it kind of backed off on this on this downturn. Look, it's a pretty risky buy right now, but if you didn't get in earlier, but I've got a feeling this thing's going to go a lot higher. It's been acting really well during this whole downturn. It's been basically going higher, and if you go back and look at MDGL, Madrigal, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll see that the way it came off the bottom is sort of a little. If you go to the monthly, it kind of looks a lot like, remember, this stock got beaten down much more than Intercept got beaten down to 5.5, from 400 to 5.5. Can you imagine? And but the way it bottomed and it came up, and the way it's come back almost to the highs, at least up to 200, 300 rather. It's pretty incredible. But I've got a feeling that Intercept is going to go the same way. Not right away necessarily, but it's kind of going down the same path, and it's really starting to get pretty. With a bit of luck, we might get a pullback next week, Definitely if it pulls back anywhere in the mid 80s, probably want to take a shot at going long this thing. But remember, it's a very dangerous stock. But there is probably a huge payoff on this thing later on, because if Madrigal comes out with some better news, it's acting really well. You know, it's been building a lot of volume up here at these levels. It's almost guaranteed to go higher. That could lift Intercept up, you know, quite a bit. You know, $50 or maybe $100 or something. So, but I think it's coming, but not necessarily, you know, right away. But it's going to work its way higher, especially once it gets over 100. They could really accelerate higher. So that's kind of thing to keep in mind. Yeah, this sell-off, boy. It's you know, this Boeing is in a lot of trouble. It's, you know, the trouble is this last rally has kind of turned everything negative again. You know, I mean, you got Facebook now is sort of right at the bottom of the range. Google's at the bottom of the range. This is pretty unusual, this kind of action. But you know, we had a kind of a day like this back at the bottom back in April, where it looked like we were in a reversal, and we got up, and then we had a couple of big down days, and then after that we rallied, and basically we've been going higher ever since. I'm just looking at Google on that score, but and actually, if you remember, when we rallied off the, you know, so it's not entirely unusual to see this kind of action as long as we get above it. But right now we're hitting new lows on just about everything. So it's definitely you know, who knows, something bad out there. Maybe there's something bad going to happen over July the 4th holiday. I hope there's not, but the market is kind of telling us that there's something really bad could be in the offing. So, and
yeah, guys, you see what happened on this? I said 27.15, not 27.12. I'm not saying it's not going to end up going to 12. However, because zones are an area, right? Just like fibs are an area, even though it paints an exact number on the chart, we get accustomed to it turning right at the zone like that. But sometimes it can, you know, come up a tick short, and you'd sure hate to give up that beautiful little trade over the want for a tick. So, like, again, not saying I do agree with John that I think this 2711/12 area should hold. As you recall, last week our lowest weekly trading zone last week was 2712/13. So that's an important price, important area, 2 weeks running. So hopefully this will hold. Now with this kind of activity, John, leading into the holiday, and the fact that we're going to have Globex tonight and the markets will trade right up until noon tomorrow, do you think this suggests that we'll have a pretty lively holiday Globex session, at least tonight? Because Asia will need to respond to this. Europe will need to respond tomorrow morning at about 3 a.m. because their markets are closed now, and they don't celebrate the 4th. In fact, they got a little chip on their shoulder about the whole 4th of July thing. Still there, John? John?
Yeah. Part of the selling is maybe the news that China intervened to try and prop the market. So if they just dismiss that as the reason why the market rallied for the last couple of days, then this might explain the sell-off. So and that's the danger tonight, because the Chinese indices are selling off badly, and the negatives, the VIX, the Chinese VIX is up a lot. So that means if China tanks tonight, that could really cause more havoc. And the other thing is, which is just incredible, is the way this gold, after being, going down. We by the way, rather than kind of try to finesse the exact entry point, last night I just said buy the metals. and they went a little bit lower overnight, but we didn't. We just stuck with it, and it turned out to be a great trade. We're already out of the, on this pullback, but the platinum is up 32. And by the way, on the, at least on one chart I'm looking at, the gold came back exactly. Remember the last time we actually picked the bottom at 1239, and it went all the way up to about 1260, 60 plus, or 1360, sorry. So that was a very big rally, about $120 rally off that bottom. That was back in December. We came and double bottomed on that. That's a pretty big deal. And the platinum came back to a double bottom over a 3-year period. And I think, look, the last time we bottomed, down this low 800 area, the market went all the way up to 1200. So it was an incredible rally from from the low 800s to 1200, almost a $400 rally. I think that's what's ahead for platinum, from not necessarily today's lows, but I think this is going to play out over the next few days. There may be a little bit more volatility, possibly one more spike in the dollar, but I think the dollar is close to being done on the upside. Certainly it's a very big reversal here in the last couple of days. I was sort of scratching your head and wondering why gold isn't responding. Well, it did today. So did the silver, but they're coming off their highs. The really interesting thing is, for no reason at all that one could even put your finger on, like a couple of days ago, if you remember, 2 or 3 days ago, the gold stocks all like shot up dramatically and basically didn't yield. They've been acting pretty, it's kind of been impulse waves to the upside while the metals have been going down. Well, this is a perfect bottom in a lot of ways, because when the gold stocks, don't make lower lows and there's a lot of divergence, and they go up with this kind of, conviction, and have these mild pullbacks, it's sort of telling you the next bull market may be underway. And the highlight is Royal Gold. And by the way, the gold stocks have already broken the trend. They've broken while the tech, the tech stocks and the industrial stocks are kind of breaking down trends. The gold stocks are actually breaking up trends, or breaking down trends and going into uptrends. So the industrials are breaking uptrends and going into downtrends. The Royal Gold, which has been my favorite, shot up today $2 or more. It's actually up 325 right now. I mean, this is epic, because we're hitting new 52-week highs on Royal Gold when gold is down, in the dumps kind of thing. And you have to say, whoa, what's going on here? If Royal Gold is this bullish right now, what's it going to be if gold's going up $100 or $200 more? And we're only 5% from an all-time high on Royal Gold. This is crazy, And as I've said for a long time, there's been no conviction in the dusts really, apart from a couple of rallies. And today they're getting hit pretty hard. So it looks to me like, the basing out of the nugget and the JNUG has sort of squeezed them up into a very tight consolidation that they appear to be breaking out to the upside on right now. And I'm telling you, I got an awful strong feeling that you're going to see some just incredible moves in gold over the next few months. I'd say, $400 move in platinum at least, and possibly 500 in gold, 500 or 600 in gold from here, taking us up towards all-time highs. And that's probably going to be caused by a dollar, by the dollar going down a lot. And, it's almost incredible. It's amazing. We talked about this on the show before, about how the dollar is so strong and how most currencies around the world are really, struggling. And especially Turkey, they just crashed again overnight. I mean, the Iranian situation is just incredible. The official rate is down a lot, but the black market rate is down drastically. I mean, since Trump pulled out of this deal, I mean, it's unbelievable they're really on the brink in Iran right now, and so is North Korea. So this strategy is really something, that's never been done before in the way it's happening, and it's definitely hurting. Look, Venezuela's another one. Argentina, some of these other countries are all. There's about 10 or 12 countries that are in all kinds of dire straits. I think the Brazilian currency hit a new low yesterday. The Indian currency hit a new low. India hit a new all-time low. So, I think the dollar has to turn here at some point to give these countries some reprieve, and actually it's going to be very bullish for world growth when that happens. And the other thing is that oil is at $75 today, a while ago, and
that sold off. Crude sold off hard.
Yeah, we put the sells in right there at the top, but as I think I said yesterday, no, I didn't because I wasn't on yesterday, but I think the explanation is, Trump called up the Prince Salman, I think it is, the Crown Prince, and sort of asked them to pump 2 million barrels, and he said, so yeah, sure. They don't have 2 million barrels to pump. They certainly don't have it right now. They just can't turn the switch on and start pumping 2 million barrels. It's just not possible. They'd be lucky if they could 200,000 barrels. That's why the market went up on this news rather than down. And to be honest with you, I think the real story is that Russia, Saudi, most of these countries are maxed out. They're unlikely to be able to increase production by very much. And just overnight, there were supply disruptions in Libya, and I think Venezuela. That's what popped the cork on the oil. So inflation is coming, and this is I was going to mention this yesterday, before this rally in gold, is that what may be coming next week is when the inflation numbers come out. They could be a shocker, and if they come in around 6% or higher, something up at that level, I think you're going to see the gold take off with in a way that it'd be hard to contemplate. And I did say that when the gold suddenly gets going, it's going to be awful hard to catch. And we saw the first sort of signs of that this morning. When early this morning the gold was only up a few bucks, and the platinum was only up 9 or 10 or something, and all of a sudden it's up 30. This is exactly what happened. This bottom reminds me a lot of the last time when the December low when we were 1239, which we made a double bottom at this morning, and it also feels to me a lot like 2009. Bottom in the market. Look, you've had a triple or quadruple upside in the stock market since 2009 in a lot of areas, and the same thing could be about to unfold in the metals. And why am I saying that? Because the sentiment gold is at all-time record lows. It's never been lower than where it is right now. 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was at all-time record lows, and then the market went lower. So you can imagine the sentiment must be really bad right now. Actually, if the sentiment, what's interesting is even though the market's lower, if the sentiment actually pops up a little bit here off the last week's extremes, that's actually a buy signal. And that could be happening already. In other words, people who were very, very bearish on gold a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, may be less bearish on gold now because of what they're seeing before their eyes. And that's usually the classic buy signal. The other thing is, in a repeat or a quasi 2009 kind of lookalike, we're not down that much. We've had probably one bad day in gold, and that was probably yesterday. Most of the declines are being single digits. There haven't been anything to really worry about until they got this big dip, and now it's already reversed potentially or practically. So
no, this is this looks very good for gold. And on Friday we have non-farm payrolls, which is high impact.
Yeah.
And we have the unemployment rate on Friday, which is also high impact.
Yeah.
Thursday, I think we have one high. Oh, on Thursday we have the FOMC meeting minutes.
Minutes. Yeah. That's something that could really push the markets. And
Crude
the other thing,
inventories will be out Thursday as well because tomorrow's a holiday.
yeah. And the other thing is, look, if the employment thing comes out and there's some sort of inflation and the wages and this sort of thing, that could be a powerful trigger on the gold. So you've got that, and then you've got the real inflation numbers coming. If they're anyway really bullish, then for gold and silver, you could see one of these buying manias. We haven't had one for quite a while. When that Fed announcement back in December, when that came out, I mean, the market rallied very, very strongly. I think it went up about $30 in a day, 30 or as much as that, and the silver went up about half a dollar or more. And we're probably in for a day like that, for sometime in the next couple of weeks. And that might be the beginning of a really big up move in the metals.
Yeah. Well, when is the Indian wedding season? Is that August?
That's in the south. Well, look, we're this is a seasonal bottoming time, July, August, September. The fact that if we do bottom, literally in the first week or two of July, that's probably pretty bullish. The other thing I was going to say is a lot of times the dollar comes in stronger after a holiday. That might not happen. This time, and that could be bullish for gold as well. So if that happens, but I think if the dollar breaks 94, it could lose a dollar. It could lose another dollar real fast. And if that happens, then I think it's going to sort of cascade lower thereafter. But look, we had a very strong dollar for a long time. Remember, we're in a kind of we're in a 7-year down cycle. This may be the last rally in the dollar in some time. And then, sorry.
Yeah, grab that if you need to.
It's okay. It may be the last rally in some time. And then we might be in for a period of sustained dollar downside. That's actually pretty bullish for the markets if that happens. It won't be not necessarily immediately, but over time it could become very bullish. So certainly a very unusual finish into July 4th today in terms of everything going on.
Yeah, I just really when you mentioned the potential to sell off another 4th of July holiday, I said, well, I guess anything's possible, but I mean, things looked pretty tame. We were down on when I started the show. Everything in the U.S. was in the red, but not by a lot. The Russell was the only thing positive.
Yeah.
And what we've seen, let's look at the Dow here. This is the last 30 minutes. This is the current 30 minutes, and this is when the show opened right here on this candle.
It looks like it's going to gap down. I mean, the thing is that there's something out there that's troubling, and because the markets. I mean, look, I don't want to be a doomsayer, but before 9/11, the market sold off in anticipation. Either some of the people, they say a lot of people knew that it was coming over in the Middle East and this sort of thing, and were shorting the markets. But the market has a kind of a sixth sense about these things. Who knows? We don't know what the news might be, but the market's got spooked about something. Maybe it's the China thing. The fact that they intervened, so it's kind of artificially propped up, meaning the rally of the last couple of days was basically, invented. And now the market's got to find a real bottom. The other thing is this kind of action is very difficult to trade because yesterday's bottom was, remember we came in and we cratered coming into yesterday's bottom. We made actually quite a good bottom, as it turns out. That little double bottom right after the open. Mm-hmm. And then we had a pretty strong rally, but we've given most of it back except for the Russell. Russell's very strong, and so is the mid cap. But the rest of the markets have given most of it back, and they kind of look like, the market wants to see some sort of a, this is what made me think about 2450 on the S&P. I mean, the market it still looks incomplete, this whole correction, the way we rallied up. This still looks like there's another leg, to come to the downside, and maybe we're going to have a different kind of July than almost every July this decade, where we've had a pretty strong upside. You can never say never, but or we're going to have some kind of a bad decline, maybe into July 9 or 10. Then we could potentially bottom and rally for the rest of the month. So actually, remembering that month, when we bottomed around July the 10th, we actually rallied. As a matter of fact, that was one of the key bottoms of 2002, July the 10th, and then we rallied into September, all the way into September. So we rallied all the way from July 10th through August, September, and then and remember, the market tends to do what happened 2 years ago, not 1 year ago, 2 years ago. So remember, we were actually rallying into August. As a matter of fact, it's a little bit like the June bottom with the Brexit. And then we rallied into August, and then we topped out in August and started falling into September, October, November, into the election, which was basically telling you that Trump was going to win, because when the market doesn't rally with the incumbent into an election, it usually means there's going to be an election upset. And that could be a theme for the 2018 midterms. In other words, we rally up sort of into the end of August, and then we go down. Remember, last year we rallied from August through the end of the year, right? So for that to happen again this year is a bit of a stretch. So it may be a different. That's to be. Paul Tudor Jones was saying he thought we'd rally into the end of the year. So we might be in a kind of a corrective mode. Well, we might rally into August, and then we might be in a bit of a corrective mode, August, September, October type of thing, and then we could be, have a huge rally. Because if the Republicans win in November, both the House and the Senate, the markets could explode higher, very, very dramatically, in much the same way as we did in 16.
The Russell really resisted this sell-off. You see that?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive.
I mean, look at this climb from that. Wow. Going back to yesterday, this thing's been on a real tear.
Yeah.
What did we suggest on the Russell last night? Buying 1664. Okay. Well, that left a little something. Put a little cheese on the macaroni. 1664.
Yeah, the Russell being so strong sort of is a bit of a positive element for. By the way, we have seen some sell-offs into holidays that the day after. Happens a lot of Thanksgiving. We sometimes sold off into Thanksgiving, and then right after Thanksgiving, the market just came in higher and just went straight higher. So that could still happen.
That's something that I've seen on holidays is that the market can move a great distance on light volume in the futures market.
Yeah.
Because if somebody or a couple of institutions decide they need to get price wherever they need to get it to, there's no better time on a holiday when there's not a lot of opposing volume to hold them back. I mean, I've seen the S&P move 10 points on practically no volume. I mean, there was some volume enough to move it, but there was just no resistance to it.
Yeah. Don't forget, you got some nervous nutties out there. There's been a lot of negative talk about an impending sell-off late in the last week or so, And then you've got these nervous Nellies, this guy holding 62 billion worth of stock, if he's still got it, talking about just dumping the whole lot. I mean, if he did, he'd probably tank the market down to 2450 on the S&P. So you never know, that something like that may be around the corner. So we'll have to see how we go.
I heard from Garrett yesterday. He's going to join us either Thursday or Friday.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's been
Great.
been a long time since. What's it been? A couple months.
Yeah.
He had a friend who went through some very severe health issues, and he spent a lot of time with him. And I don't know what else has been going on in his life, but he reached out to me. He's getting ready to go to a big monitor, a flat panel like the one I have. And he remembered the size, he remembered the price, he just couldn't remember the name. Which is,
Hisense.
Yeah, there you go. You did. Of course you would remember it. Yeah. It's been. I mean, I only use it for the purpose of trading and for the show and all of that. I mean, I use it all day long. But I do. My old monitor, I used to never turn it off because after I'd had it a few years, it wasn't quite as big as this one, but it developed a line on the right-hand side, just a vertical line from the top to the bottom. And if I turned it off, if I turned the flat panel off and then come in the next morning and turn it on, the whole thing would be very dark, like there was a cloud over it. And after about an hour, the fog would burn off. This one, every time I leave the office, I turn the flat panel off. I don't know if that's worse on it coming on and off, but I don't want my screen to get burned in because I really like this. It's got all kinds of apps. Man, there are so many apps out there. It's just unbelievable. And all of this, like this Tubi that I was telling everybody about. Did I tell you about Tubi? T-U-B-I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
The mistake I made is I was trying to load it onto the cable service or the TV. You load it onto the Fire Stick, the Amazon. Do you have an Amazon Fire Stick?
No, I use a different system, but
all right, with the Amazon Fire Stick, I think it's pretty incredible. You just put that.
the latest one is getting a lot of buzz. The latest Amazon brick, the Cube, I think they call it, Fire Cube or something.
It's like a set-top box?
It's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Amazon box. Amazon Fire TV, yeah. How do you get the Amazon Baby Box? Oh, that's not it. Smart TV box. There we go. So we got a Roku upstairs. Got an Apple TV that we just don't even use anymore. It's like a first generation. But this little Fire Stick, boy, once you put that thing in, plug it into an HDMI slot, you can put the Kodi software on there, the Exodus, and you can literally watch movies that are still in the theater. I don't know how they do it. If we weren't so entrenched in, I mean, it's hard to break habits that you've had for 20, 30 years, like paying your cable bill or having cable. But there really isn't much sense to have cable anymore. That it's such a bloated bill. I mean, it's unbelievable. And the cost of internet should start to come down as Google rolls out their fiber and this other company out of San Francisco starts to roll theirs out. Okay, well, what else you want to cover today? John? I think we lost John. You there, John? Okay.
Is that better? Sorry.
Yeah,
I was just saying that the coffee, which we sold at 117.5 the last time, it's down to 111 now, 111.5. So, you've got to be ready for something like gold to happen with the coffee, possibly next week. Because I think it's getting a bit overdone. And also, if the tariffs thing got fixed, that could be very bullish for coffee as well, because coffee was mentioned as part of this tariff thing. Lumber is back down almost the limit today, and the grains, boy, every time they rally, they just seem to get knocked on the head. Except for the wheat. But I think a turn in the in the grains is coming soon as well. So. And actually, we could be, if the dollar starts getting weaker, we could be at the beginning of a pretty strong commodity rally. And that's kind of what I'm expecting to unfold here over the next few months, is a really, very strong commodity market.
What symbol what did we use on lumber the other day? LUMB?
LB.
Oh, LS, there we go. LS. And what month are you in?
September.
September?
Yeah.
Oh man, look at that!
Yeah.
This is a 30-minute chart.
Yeah.
So lumber sold off along with the rest of the market. Yeah. Do you have any screens that you run like this, where it allows you to set up? You see how I've got this? This is on Trading View.
I've got, I'm using a different one than that.
Okay. But I've never really ran 4 charts on one screen like this, but they have the format. You just click here, and I mean, you can take it up.
Try the 8 one. Try the 8 one. Let's have a look at the 8 one.
I don't think I have a high enough account to do 8.
Okay.
I think that's what it just said. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh, or maybe I'm not fully logged in. I know I have, but guys, you can get a free. I can't say enough good things about the folks at TradingView. They've just done a wonderful job with this platform, and
is that the name of it? TradingView.
TradingView.com, and if you just go there with a free account, I mean, you can look at all kinds of stuff and use all kinds of tools. And I think the package I have, which gives me stocks. See the futures.
Check out. See that lumber chart? We're probably going to go down and test the 500, based on the way this lumber is going.
Yeah, I see that.
And look at Bank of America too. Jeepers, that's just
Bank of America. Yeah, I mean it's.
it doesn't look very bullish, does it?
I remember sitting in Bank of America talking to, this is back right after during the recession, whatever you want to call it. Young guy, probably 25. He was the assistant manager at the Bank of America branch downtown. And I sat and chatted with him one day, and he lives out by South Mountain where I do. We bumped into each other at the grocery store. So I asked him, I said, so what are your plans? He goes, well, I'm going to be honest with you. He goes, I don't want to be stuck here forever. I said, okay. He said, this was when Bank of America dipped below $5. He said, I have scrounged up every penny I could lay my hands on and put it all on Bank of America. And I don't know how many pennies he had to scrounge up, but I haven't seen him lately, so I'm assuming he was able to move to a better zip code. I don't know. Good for him. He was working at a place. He didn't want to spend the rest of his life there, but he was willing. I mean, how long ago was that? Was that 2008 maybe? Bank of America fell to under $5. Let's see. All time. There we go. All time. Well, let's see. I'm going the wrong direction. There we go. Am I not able to get back that far?
One of the things is one of the things we didn't mention, Dwayne, is this Deutsche Bank situation. Deutsche Bank.
Okay, what's that?
DB. Put up DB. Put up DB, because this Deutsche Bank could be one of the reasons why the market's selling off today.
Okay, and the symbol is DB?
DB. Yeah. This is really bad. I mean, look at it. It's making all-time lows. All-time lows, this stock.
Whoa,
and and it looks a lot like Lehman Brothers. Can you put a larger?
Yeah,
more,
I mean,
can you put,
I'm just saying,
can
look
you
what
put
happened
more?
in this 30 minutes right here. Yeah.
That's probably what happened. They probably opened higher and they sold it
30
off.
minutes. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Check.
Well, actually,
Can you go
it
to
opened.
day?
Yeah, you want to
Can
go
you
to
go to
daily?
day?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. There you go. All right, that's daily.
Probably weekly, even better, maybe.
Okay, we can do that. Okay, so we're all the way back to 2011 over here. So that's 7 years
Look at
worth
it.
of a.
I mean, look at it. Exactly.
Hmm.
So you have to say why is that happening? I think they've got a lot of loans in Iran. You know, that's the currency in Iran is causing this problem.
Really?
Yeah, Iran, other countries that have, and the whole oil crisis. I mean, this is all to do with oil. Look at it. See the high in 2014 when oil was $100, everything was fine. As soon as everything, you know, fell apart, he's probably got a lot of stuff in Russia, exposure to Russia, exposure to all kinds of places. So that's what's going on with this Deutsche Bank. And
do you see any reason to buy it down around these levels?
absolutely not. No. I mean,
Just taking out that low there.
at least until we see something, you know. But it's actually following. You know, some people have overlaid the chart of Lehman Brothers to this, and it's very similar, the whole thing. So and you know, the Italian banks are in trouble as well in Europe. So you know, look, Draghi can turn. You know, the government are going to bail this bank out probably at some point. The German government, because it's pretty much a government bank in a lot of ways.
What are your plans for tomorrow? Barbecue, family, what's up?
So, I don't know. We got some festivities organized, but a lot of work to do in the next couple of days. But I hope everybody has a great time and a great holiday. And
same to you, John.
Yep.
All the very best.
Thanks a lot.
All right, we'll talk to you. If I don't talk to you, wait, hang on. I got a question in the chat box. Let me see if it's for you. Drag it over. There we go. Let's see. What time is the London Open? He's already gone. 3 a.m. Eastern. Oh, and then. Oh, yeah. No, it wasn't. It wasn't anything important.
Okay. Well, listen. I hope everybody has a cracking time and
Hey,
a safe,
you too.
safe holiday. All the best. Bye.
God bless you. Bye-bye. Okay. We've walked through most of these. Let me get his mic. Come on. All right. Got it. Okay. We've walked through most of the markets, not all of them yet. Now on crude. Last night, Concierge Trade Alert. We didn't have a tweet on crude. Consider buying 74.90. 74.90. Okay. It's going to be. Well, in here somewhere. That's 74.70. And there's 90. Okay, 74.90 took us up to 75.27. So call it 30. You know, round it down. 30 points, $300 per contract. And also in crude, we said if you get the opportunity, this is where the money was. Consider selling 74.25. 25. 70, 25. Now, for those of you that get the Concierge Trade Alerts, if by chance you did not read the email that came your way last night, you might want to take a look at that. Okay, it was rather, normally I don't put any commentary at all in there. I just give you the numbers. However, stuff I talked about is kind of important, so if by chance something was going on last night and you weren't able to read that, you might want to read it over the weekend here. All right, so 74 and a quarter, and the swing low, well, I'll point out at 73 and a quarter, that's $1,000 per contract at 73.25. 74.25 to 73.25. A $1 move or 1 point move, it's $1,000 per contract for the trader. And so at 50, is that 15? Oh, 74.25 minus 72.75. Yep, that's $1,500 per contract available. Okay, and again, did not put a tweet out on crude last night. So it was 300 to the upside, and this huge sell-off dropped $1,500 per contract in the lap of anyone that traded it. Gold, as John was talking about gold, I marked it up and I also adjusted the zones. These are this week's zones. I've been putting this week's zones on everything, even though today's only Tuesday, because Wednesday, holiday, blah blah. All right, we said to consider buying 1244. We had a tweet, but it needed to pull back to 44.45, and then we would sell it down to 40. It did go down to 40, but it didn't complete the pullback. And then the Concierge Trade Alert was simply to buy 1244, and that ran up $2,300 per contract traded or per contract available. What a nice move for gold. Very, very nice. NQ, I don't think we've got to that one yet. Now, the NQ, it was 71, well, the tweet was 71.25 to 71.45, I believe. Let's see. NQ. Oh, wait, no, there was a tweet on crude, 74.15 to 74.40, which we went there. We did that. So that's great. And there's a tweet on the Russell too, 62 to 68. Got that. And the S&P and the Dow. Okay, the NQ, 71.25 to 71.45. So all of the tweets worked out. 71.25 to 71.45. Now, those didn't go out until 11:30 p.m. Eastern last night. So that's going to be 21:30. Hang on. Let me. All right. 2100. 2200. Oh, for some reason I got this on an hour. But anyway. Go here, let me shift it. There we go. All right, so the alerts went out at 11:30 Eastern last night, later than I normally like to get them out. So that would be 23:30. 23:30 right here. Okay, so this is when the alerts went out. Okay, I just want to make sure. And so then it was 71.25. 71.25. To $1.45 at $20 a point, $400 per contract traded. 71. Okay. All right. So that was that was the tweet. The Concierge Trade Alert on the NQ was to buy 71.60, which you got stopped out. If you took that trade, it ran up to 71.65. Now, at $20 a point, that's $100 per contract, but I know that, you discretionary traders, that's not what you're looking for. Okay, so the tweet was fine. The long was a stop, and then if you get the opportunity, sell 70.92, it said. Okay. 70.92. Oh, this thing. 70.92. Right there. Well, you get the idea. 70.92. Swing low from 92 down to, we'll call it $1,200 per contract available. Okay. 60 plus points. $1,200 per contract available. Okay. Now, stops happen. That's the truth about trading. Anyone, any website, any email, anything that ever tells you that they've got a new way to trade, you'll never get stopped out. You should run, call law enforcement, do something. Pray for their eternal soul, because it's just not possible. And I know in the beginning, if you do all this, you're like, oh, no, I can feel it in my bones. It's possible. I can't tell you all this. I never burned sage, but I thought of all kinds of things, all kinds of ways to foresee and foretell what was going to happen in the market. And the day I accepted the fact that I could not, neither could any indicator, oscillator, guru, crystal ball, nothing, not nowhere, not know how, could predict what the market was going to do next. Once I accepted that, not just as head knowledge, but literally wrote it on the tablet of my heart, my whole way of thinking changed. I was in a mentoring session the other day with someone, and they said, you know, Dwayne, every time I get in a trade, it immediately goes the other way. And, I've got a drawdown the second I get in. And I said, does that bother you? Does it bother you that when you get into a trade, you immediately are in a drawdown? And they said, yeah, it makes me do crazy stuff, like I don't leave my hard stop in place. I just know I'm going to get stopped out, so I scoot it up, it takes me out, and then it ends up going in my direction. I said, well, what if every trade you got into, you expected a drawdown? Because that's how the markets work. Whether you're on a daily chart or a 1 minute chart, a volume chart, or a range chart, or a tick chart, price channels back and forth. Like this is a nice big green candle, okay, 30 minutes. But if you took that 30-minute candle and compared it to a 1 minute candle, okay, in fact, that's just this little 30-minute candle we got going on in Q here. I mean, it looks like it just, no big deal. But there's a lot going on behind that candle. Let's make this an NQ. And let's dial. Okay, so there's that same 30-minute candle. Now let's go to 1 minute. Okay, now that 1 minute candle embraces. Oh, I don't get my. All right, I'll just have to do it this way. 1300 right there. To 1314. What? Now, if we dial it down even further and go with the chart we use, in the training room, range 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Price channeling back and forth. So, not to belabor the point, but the point was price channels back and forth. That's what it does. That's how the markets work. Buyers on the bid, sellers on the ask, price pinging back and forth, no matter what time frame you're looking at. It's just more observable in the smaller time frames. If you go into a trade fully expecting that there's going to be some kind of a drawdown, we use an 8 in the live training room. We use an 8-tick hard stop. We don't use that on the discretionary trading, but in the live training room, the rules-based trading, 8-tick hard stop every trade. If you expect there to be a drawdown, all of a sudden you aren't freaked out, you aren't nervous, you aren't worried, you aren't concerned. See, we watch price channel back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, but the second we enter a trade and get long or short, we expect it to stop channeling and to just take off like a racehorse to the finish line. That's just not how it works. So we have unrealistic expectations in that we're expecting the market to do something that the market it doesn't do. That's not what the market does. Okay. And hopefully that has made a difference for the gentleman, really nice guy, that I was in a mentoring session with. Get the pressure off. So the next time you get into trade and you immediately go into a drawdown, look at yourself, keep one of those little hand mirrors on your desk, look at yourself in the mirror and go, that's how markets work. Nobody's out to get you, your office isn't bugged, the locals aren't running your stops or any of the other urban legends, because there are no locals anymore, but just don't let that, because the partner, every time he would get in a trade, he would draw down a little bit, 2 ticks, 3 ticks. In his mind's eye, he saw it going down the full 8 ticks and taking out, and it's stopping him out. So he would preempt the stop out by stopping himself out with only a 3 or 4 tick loss, and often see the trade then continue on in the direction that he had originally entered, pursuing a long or a short. So I know that's going to help some of you that are new, because I mean, even after all these years, when I get into a trade, of course I want it to go in the direction that I'm trading in, like a racehorse to the finish line. But I know that's only going to happen on rare occasions. Okay, it's going to channel, just expect it, and then it won't bug you so much, and then you can get over it and move on to the next problem, whatever that happens to be. Okay. All right. So S&P, we covered that. Now, that live radio trade, okay, remember we talked about, I put it at 13 and not 12. I think it actually did go down and touch 12. The swing low on that was, you see it right there, it pops, the low, 27.12. It did go down and touch the zone to the tick. Got a bounce, new candle opens, we go down, and the low of this candle is 12.75. Okay? So that's why I put the target at 13. So we expect this to be good support until it isn't. Okay? Just like we expected this to be good resistance until it wasn't. This held as resistance, and so far this is held as support. Okay. All right, so I won't go over all the individual. We had the live radio trade. We had the Concierge Trade Alert long. We had the tweet long, and I guess, let's see. Oh, it just so happens, funny you should mention, the Concierge Trade Alert on the ES last night did, if you get the opportunity, sold 27.18. And honest to goodness, I wasn't aware that it was the same number. It doesn't mean I would have changed it. I would have probably even been more excited to use 27.18 as the live radio trade. But I was just seeing the same thing this morning that I obviously saw last night when I put this on. Okay. All right, the Dow, again, Concierge Trade Alert, 24,310, ran up to 440. The tweet, the short side of the CTA. There's the Russell, we just talked about that. Crude, we just talked about that. Gold, we just talked about that. And the NQ, we just talked about that. What an eventful couple of weeks it's been on the tweeter. And on the Concierge Trade Alerts. Yep. And so, again, partners, if you are also a Concierge Trade Alert client, if you did not read the commentary in last night's email, please take a couple minutes over the holiday, if not today, read the commentary, and if it applies to you, by all means get a hold of me. I don't have plans to go out of town or anything for the holiday, although I will of course be spending time with the family. But shoot me an email, give me a call, something. Bill A in the audience asks, do brokers trap the traders? Because I get stopped most of the time. No, Bill, brokers don't have the power to move the markets. In the futures markets, there's no market maker. And the amount of money that it takes to push price anywhere or hold it or trap it, so no. What's happening is your entry is, well, let me show you. Let me give you an example. Price goes like this, leg, retrace. It's going to be hard with my faulty my leg and a retracement. Oh, come on, really? Leg and a retracement. That's how markets work. And then another leg, and then a retracement. And by golly, you can see that this thing is starting to develop an uptrend. So you're like, bada boom, and then here's what most people will do. As we start to build that next leg, okay, it's going for it, and I'm gonna get in right here. Well, it's basically due for this. So where you should have been getting in was here. Leg and a retrace, leg and a retrace, leg and a retrace, and then to add insult to injury, leg. Unfortunately, you or whoever went along here, got stopped out on the pullback, and missed the next leg up. So that is a problem that we can fix pretty quick. Okay, so I don't know if you've been on the trial, if you've looked at our mentoring program, but if that's a problem you have, brother, if that's the only problem you have, we can fix that lickety split. But over the 90-day mentoring program, we'll teach you a whole lot more. But we won't teach you things you don't need to know, you know, to cloud your mind, cloud your thinking, to give you analysis paralysis and all that stuff. We teach you enough. We teach you exactly what you need to know to get your goal today. It's like the children of Israel. They would get their manna for the day, not store up for them. Well, we believe in storing up some nuts for the winter, but you get my point. Come in, reach your goal for the day, you're done. Come back tomorrow. It's like going to the factory. Make the widgets. It's time to make the widgets. You go in, you make the widgets, you get your quota for the day, boom, you're out. Reeves, clock out. Okay. So come and let us help you. We'll do it. We will be happy to do that. Okay, good word for the day, and then we're all off into the holiday. Yesterday we started talking about the ants. In all labor there is profit. Proverbs 14:23. The ant never sees work as menial or beneath his dignity. Whether it's moving dirt or carrying breadcrumbs, he merely goes along doing his job. How unlike that are many people today. Someone said, if you want to keep your teenagers out of hot water, put some dirty dishes in there. All work can and should be done for the glory of God. 1 Corinthians 10:31. The sum of the matter is found in this simple Bible statement. In all labor there is profit. 14:23. Teach your children the old-fashioned way of getting money, working for it. The word vocation, which is real close to vacation, right? The word vocation comes from the Latin word vocare, which means to call. So every job or vocation, regardless of what it is a calling from God. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. rightly declared, not all men are called to specialized or professional jobs. Even fewer are called to the heights of genius in the arts and sciences. Many are called to be laborers in factories, fields, and streets. But no work is insignificant. As a parent, you're preparing your child for their work life, so prepare them well. If you don't, they'll have a life of grief and create a life of grief for those around them. Plus, they may end up back on your doorstep, living in your basement. Bosses don't pay workers who don't work. So before you give your child an allowance, give them some chores, like making their bed, cleaning their room, helping around the house, taking out the trash, getting good grades in school, and doing their homework on time. I got to print this out for my son and my daughter. Reward without responsibility is indulgence. Don't do it. If you love your child, you won't do it. And if you're a grandparent raising the grandkids because the parents couldn't, well, there it is. All right, off into the holiday, and we'll see you back on Thursday. There's no radio show tomorrow. Nay, not one. No radio show tomorrow. And also, no radio show tomorrow. No live training room tomorrow. But we'll be all over it all come Thursday. If I seem distracted, I apologize. It's because I'm distracted. Anyway, it's my media player here. All right, I will let you run. Thanks. Oh, I hope you have just a great holiday. Spend quality time with the family. Think about the freedoms that we enjoy here in the U.S. of A. So many countries, so many people don't have the basic freedoms to come and go, to worship. So many things. Let's all live out the rest of our days with an incredible attitude of gratitude, so that those who gave their life for our freedom will not have died in vain. Love you guys. Have a great holiday. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.